What's going on, everyone? Paul Donis Maximus here. In today's video, I'm going to give you an honest review of my testing with Higgsfield's supercomputer feature. This thing has been out for a while. I can't remember if it came out before or after they released the Claude Higgsfield MCP. I'm fairly certain it came out after that. And honestly, when it did, I thought it was something that seemed like it could be pretty cool. But I think the thing that they were going to be struggling with is that, again, you've given someone access to Higgsfield via Claude, who once upon a time ago had a model called Fable 5 that everyone was freaking out about. I honestly didn't really see myself being pulled out of the Claude/Higgsfield MCP ecosystem to come over here to use this, because I understand that Higgsfield wants you to spend your credits with them, even though you are spending credits with them plus Claude when you use it via the MCP. But I think the prevailing wisdom is that, if you're over here in Claude and while or after you're using Supercomputer, you may interact with some of the other apps that you can't use via the MCP tool. And honestly, it goes a bit deeper than that, because as I'll show you, all of this stuff that Supercomputer was doing is token usage that you would not be using if you were using Higgsfield via the Claude MCP. I have a video on the Claude/Higgsfield MCP tool itself, so be sure to look for that video on the channel. But again, to make a long story short, I kind of delayed playing with this because, again, I don't even know what the language model is that they're using for Supercomputer. It could be a Minimax model for all I know, or DeepSeek. But anyway, I finally got around to testing it, and again, I'm going to give you an honest review of how this all turned out, so be sure to stick around to the end of the video, and let's get into it right now. Now, the one thing I want to draw your attention to is this prompt right here, and I'm going to tell you where this prompt came from, mostly this right here. So again, I had put off using Supercomputer for a while, and I kind of came to the page and I was just scrolling through it, but then I was reading all of this stuff that was happening right here, and here we go: generate a short drama scene. And again, this could just be marketing horseshit, right? Maybe you need to be a bit more thorough with your prompting, and it's not as simple as they make it. But how would you know that if you're someone who does not have any AI generation experience? Again, think about it. Let's say you only heard about AI Gen today, you come to their website and they're like, hey, create a cartoon animation from this storyboard, or whatever it just said. These things that you're seeing here on the screen. And so you're like, okay, cool, this should be a piece of cake. It's called Supercomputer for creative work. Turn a simple chat into production ready content at scale. So that means I just use one of these prompts and I'll be off to the races, right? Well, that's exactly what we're testing. Let's go back over to what I was working on, using this exact same prompt as inspiration. And so hence, that's where this prompt came from. It says, generate a short dramatic cinematic scene with the attached, and she is fighting a ginormous, yes, I wrote ginormous, mystical dragon in a large snowy field at dusk. So I gave it a little bit more thought, right? I didn't get too elaborate. Like, I didn't go to Claude and say, hey, come up with this prompt, I'm going to give it to Supercomputer, because again, it's called Supercomputer. I'm assuming it's already badass. And this was the AI consistent character that I ended up using, and you can see that she's attached right here. Now, what's interesting about this staff right here is I actually used Midjourney to create this, and then I used image compositing with NanoBanana or NanoBanana 2, I don't remember which one, to get this. I've got multiple versions of her holding different things, but something I'll get into in a future video. Just another case for why you may want to hold on to your Midjourney subscription a little longer. And I tried getting something as dope as this with the other image generators, and it did not turn out looking anything close to something as what I got. After that, I hit the enter button, and then Supercomputer starts doing its thing. And if you click this right here, it goes into detail about every single thing that it's doing. Now, there are a few things that I want to mention now before I forget. I know you guys are going to be interested in how many credits were used for this. We'll get to that. The second thing is you're probably going to want to know how long all of this took, and I'll answer that right now. This took a long damn time. I did not expect this thing to run for as long as it did, considering the task where it's going to take the AI character that I gave it, and then it's going to create a cinematic sequence of her fighting with a mythical dragon. It did a lot of shit, and again, I did not expect it to take that long. Now, here's the other kind of catch with using something like this. The AI, as you can see, is just going off, just doing some stuff, right? And this process kind of reminds me of some of the complaints with using AI to code, because yeah, the AI will go off and write thousands upon thousands of lines of code and build exactly what you're asking. But when something breaks, when it comes to trying to troubleshoot what the AI did, it might as well be Egyptian hieroglyphics. And so if you look out in the AI space, you'll see now that there is a lot of talk about the interesting situation a lot of AI companies are finding themselves in when they use AI to code, because again, when something breaks, they don't know what the AI did and therefore they can't fix it. Now, how that relates to what I'm talking about here is, again, the skill is loaded, the user provided, like, it's going through all of the motions, it's talking to itself, saying what it's going to do, it's enhancing prompts, and again, it was just going off doing stuff. It was talking about the dragon, and I didn't see anything about the AI female witch character. And so then I end up stopping it, and I was like, why are you not using the female AI character I attached? Like, again, I had no idea what this thing was doing. It was just going off, just doing stuff, and I'm just kind of reading some of its stream of conscious to get somewhat of an idea. And again, I think right here it's talking about, some of the options to do. And I think I may have even given some input in this answer, because that's what it does as well. They have an option, as you see down here, where it says you can either auto run without asking or confirm before running. And again, I think that's what happened right here. Is it said, should we go with a 30-second one? Actually, let me back up a bit. They asked that question here, how long did I want it to be? And at first I said 30 seconds, and then it decided something like, hey, 30 seconds is not enough to do this. And it says it right here. The full dragon fight has about 9 dramatic beats, 30 seconds each beat only gets 3 seconds, or roughly 3 seconds, which compresses cause and effect into a montage. Like, I don't even know what that means. And so I guess it's asking me, do you want to expand this to roughly 60 seconds, a combination of 5 to 6 clips? And it says, if we do this, it'll allow the full fight to breathe, or B, keep it at 30 seconds, but focus on one contained moment, or C, again, there's a lot of stuff here. I'm not going to read through all of it. And again, I didn't want this to take too long because it was already taking a long time at this point. And so I was like, C, keep 30 seconds and fit the whole fight, which they said would be a punchy montage pacing. And again, I selected keep 30 seconds, fit the whole fight. And again, there's this stream of thinking that it's doing. Again, it's enhancing prompts. And yeah, it looks like you can even tick down into this and see what's going on in what they're doing with these prompt enhancements. And again, guys, there was a lot of stuff this thing did. Like, I couldn't even keep up. So again, how do you fix something where you don't really have much input to begin with? You're just letting these agents go off and do stuff. And again, we got back to this part where it's like, I stopped it and said, why are you not using the female AI character I attached? And so again, if I click this down, you can see all of the stuff that was going on. And the thing that surprised me was that it actually created the dragons and the landscape. Now, what I was expecting to happen is like what I did with Seedance 2.0 in Higgsfield Cinema Studio. So if you remember this scene from a previous upload, I took this image and I used that grid feature within Higgsfield to get that grid consistent character look of this particular character right here. And everything that you're seeing that's happening, the AI came up with all that stuff. I didn't give it any input images on what the aliens look like. I did not give it any input images on what the landscape looked like. The only thing the AI had was the image of this female. And that is what I assumed was going to happen with this process, and that is exactly the opposite of what happened. As you can see here, it started asking me, which version of these do I want? Because it generated these dragons and it generated this landscape, which is a snowy field that I asked for. And again, to keep this going, because it was just taking a while, I just said, hey, give me option, which one did I select? Let's see if it has which one I selected. Yeah, I said B, slate, green, steel, wide wings, dragon, whichever one. I guess that's B right here. And then which snowfield, that was the D, purple, pink, wide sky, blah, blah, blah. And again, like, if you want to try this for yourself, it's good that they're very transparent about everything that's happening, but you really can't do anything about it. It's not like you can just, punch in and be like, hey, I don't like the way that's going, do this instead. That may be a future state for something. But again, there's a lot that happened here and I'm not going to read through everything. Now, the long and short of this is that it generated 3 different scenes: the opening scene, the middle scene, and the ending scene. I like that everything stays within this view. You don't have to click and go anywhere else. Again, it appears over here as well. And then what it does is it takes those scenes and makes one final output. And this is how it all turned out right here. And fair warning, it sucks. Now again, before I forget, and I'm going to give you my opinion on all of this in a minute, a lot of you are going to want to know how much this all costs. And again, it's pretty cool that they're keeping everything transparent. They're telling me within this task, there was 9.36 image credits used, and I don't know which models were used. I don't even think that was shown in anything that we looked in, you know, when we tick down those little triangles. So that's another downside to this. Those AI agents are deciding on everything, and you're just at their mercy with whatever they come up with. It also used 40.13 text credits. You know, I guess that's all this stuff that you see on the screen right here. And it used 261 video credits. And I'm assuming they went with Seedance 2.0, but it could be Kling 3.0. I don't know. And again, there were no audio credits used. And all in all, I think this is what, 49. It's a little bit over 300 credits total. And I'm just going to do one more check. I don't see any indications of which video model was actually used. And so here's my thoughts on Higgsfield Supercomputer. This process was so long and the output turned out so bad that I would not want to spend time trying to do all of this all over again or continue doing multiple rounds of discussions in this chat until we get it right, because everything took so long. Also, considering that I have no input over which models they're using, and I don't know, maybe I would come into the chat and say, hey, I want you to create the videos, but I want you to use Seedance 2.0 for it. Like, it doesn't even ask you what you want to do. It's like you told it already that you want a scene, and it's going to do what it needs to do to produce that. And I also, you know, used what they call smart mode down here. Let me see if I type something in and this pops. No. Okay, so this is what you have to select when you get started. There's like another mode. I think it's like an efficiency mode, and I just went with the more expensive one because I assumed that I would get a better output. That was not the case. And so I think something like this would definitely be dope in the future. And hey, I'm pretty sure there are people probably getting stuff out of it right now. But as for me, I don't really see the need to stop using Higgsfield via the Claude MCP, because you just have way more control over the process, over the models that you want to use, and just more input in general. Like again, these things, these agents, they just go off and do stuff, and you know, they'll ask you some questions here and there. But I think a feature like this is only geared toward the exceptionally lazy and the AI marketer bros, which is a subset of the overall marketing bro pillar. Because what's their philosophy? Everything should be easy. You should be able to just tell it what you want, click a few buttons, and out pops this thing that you can go make millions with. And I'm not saying Higgsfield is doing that, but I am saying that marketer bros are using something like this to promote it as that. And to me, this seems more tailored to that crowd. As a filmmaker, you don't want to cede control of every damn thing, right? Because it is the director, him or herself, that adds that special sauce, that vision to the overall production, and that's what makes each production unique. When you start putting your creative on an assembly line, then you just end up creating something that you don't recognize at all. So again, guys, that's my quick take on Supercomputer. I wanted to get to this video a little bit ago, but again, I've not been using Supercomputer, and again, on my channel, I don't really talk to you guys about stuff that I'm not using, unless of course it ends up being something like Seedance 3.0 and I just don't have access to it, right? But again, that's just my take. Some of you out there may be getting even more impressive results. That's why I want you to let me know in the comments below this video what your experience has been with Higgsfield Supercomputer, and if you've used Higgsfield via the Claude MCP, how does your experience compare across the two? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below this video. And as always, if you found this review helpful for helping you to decide which tools you want to use for your AI cinematic films, then be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, because not only when you like the video and subscribe, you not only let YouTube know that you enjoy videos like these, but that you also want to be alerted to when we upload the next one. Once again, my name is Paul Maximus. Thanks for checking out this video. Please join me in the next one.